Join me on a trip my family and I took to Central Arizona in the summer of 2025. I did my entire elementary experience in Arizona, and my wife did her first 2 years teaching in a school in Phoenix. And we decided that now would be a great time to take our kids to see where we spent so much of our younger lives. First thing we did when we got off the plane was notice that we had some hangry children. So we took them to a regional favorite, In-N-Out Burger. It is great, it is cheap, but I'll tell you this, it is no runza. We had some time to kill before we could check into our hotel, so we decided to drive by Good Samaritan Hospital, the hospital my sister was born in. Right down the road was the school my wife first taught in with Teach for America, so we had her get out and take a picture or two, and hopefully we didn't look too sus. From there, we went to Old Town Scottsdale, this touristy, kitschy place with lots of little shops, and I did not let my son buy that hat. We were finally able to check into our hotel, and my kids got into the pool for the rest of the afternoon. And just to show how small of a world it is, at the pool I met some people from Elkhorn, Nebraska. The next morning I woke up and looked out our hotel window and I saw the Four Peaks, which loom over northeastern Phoenix, and it brought me right back to my childhood feels. I actually hiked the peak on the right side of this picture that is kind of obscured behind the palm tree. We called it the Fifth Peak. North of Phoenix was our first stop, the city of Prescott, Arizona. But before we got out of the Valley of the Sun, we were bombarded with all these billboards of injury attorneys, and this was our family's favorite one, Sweet James. It reminded me of Better Call Saul. As we drove, we saw about 15 of those billboards, and then I looked down at our radio's display monitor, and sure enough, it was like Sweet James was in our car, assuring us everything would be all right. As we traveled north on Interstate 17, I got to see many landmarks that brought me right back to my childhood through the countless times I traveled from Prescott Valley to Phoenix and back. We finally reached our destination, and this is what our first major activity was going to be. We were going to hike this thing. It's called Thumb Butte, and it looms over the old west city of Prescott. I really wanted my family to hike Thumb Butte with me because I saw that it was paved all the way to the top. And so as we got closer to the top, I took this video, and as I'm panning through our view, first I'm going to zoom into Granite Mountain. Granite Mountain is a natural landmark to the northwest of Prescott, and over here I am going to zoom into Mount Williams. It's over at this place where you would drive north to the Grand Canyon, and right here is the San Francisco Peaks, and the city of Flagstaff is at its base. And here was where we were hoping to climb up to and actually get onto the top of that, but unfortunately, it was peregrine falcon nesting season, and so we were not able to do that, and I was sad. Overall, Thumb Butte, in my opinion, was a major success. I was very happy, as these pictures show, and I was very proud of my kids. They showed a lot of grit, resilience, and endurance as they made it to the top, and not a lot of complaining. After the hike, we got in the car and we visited the city that I actually lived in, called Prescott Valley, which is a suburb of Prescott, and we went to different places like the houses I lived in, the school I went to, and we wrapped it up by having a great lunch with some of our friends from when I was a kid. It was just a really good time, and I'm glad my kids got to see it. After saying goodbye to my friends, we got into the car and we headed to the city of Jerome. Jerome was a former mining town, now just kitschy tourist area that is absolutely beautiful. And on the way there, we had many chances to stop and take pictures up on Mingus Mountain as we descended into Verde Valley. And here I am trying to do my best taking an artistic picture of a thistle, and my wife decided to take a picture of me and my big back. Once in Jerome, we did what other people do in Jerome. We go around to all their little shops, Lots of things like jewelry shops, pottery shops, wineries, all sorts of things, all sorts of little nooks and crannies of all sorts of different oddities and things along those lines. Right here you will see a picture of my son at a pottery shop petting their dog, but the real highlight for me was the Caduceus Cellars, which is owned by one of my favorite artists, musical artists, the front man of the band Tool, A Perfect Circle, and Puscifer. And so I had to go there, and that place didn't disappoint. It had tinned fish. And here's a picture of my kids as behind them is the Verde Valley. But the number one best thing that the Geikens found in all of Jerome was a mulberry tree. As you guys can see, me and the kids loved it, but my wife did not.